everyone, Jason Gilbo here with Justin Elick breaking down some GPP bats for today's slate. 13 games. Pitching today, I mean, pretty strong. Like, it's with a lot of bigger names, but some of these guys I feel like you can actually pick on too.
Yeah, I mean, for a big slate, I mean, you got Strasburg and Darvish up top. You know, neither one with a great matchup, I guess. You know, the Cubs haven't been as good as they had been recently, but Strasburg's still been pretty consistent. Darvish, pretty tough matchup against Cleveland, but you got to imagine those two guys, I mean, easily going to eat up most of the ownership. You know, you'll probably see some going Stroman. I like Godley. I know you like Godley too, but outside of that, I mean, you're kind of just picking somebody and hoping for some strikeout upside.
Yeah, I think that's how it is, and thank God Washington's actually cooler tonight, so Strasburg can go out there and throw a decent game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I kind of wish it was like 95, and then you just fade Strasburg and just watch everybody literally sweat and watch him just struggle. I mean, whatever. I mean, he's making a ton of money to suck in the heat, so I guess I can't be too mad at him.
If he was pitching in my apartment right now, he'd go 3.2 innings. So.
Yeah, you're living a pretty tough life over there.
It's brutal right now.
It's so comfortable here. Like, I'm cold in my house.
You come on the pod in like a parka.
I'm uncomfortably cold. Like, next show we do together, I'm coming on here with just the biggest coat, like my down jacket on.
Hot coffee, yeah.
Yeah. I've been drinking hot coffee all morning, and I'm just trying to warm myself up, but I can't do it.
Man, whatever. All right, let's look at some bats. Catcher, we can't play Miguel Montero tonight because he's designated for assignment.
Because he said what everyone has been wanting to say for years. I mean, what does Montero care? What's he, like, 34, 35? I mean,
yeah, he got his
plays
ring
once a week now anyway. Yeah, he got his ring. Who cares? But that whole thing is, I mean, it's true. All these things, I don't know why people get so sensitive about this now. Like, because he said something that's absolutely true. I mean, Arrieta couldn't throw a strike last night. I mean, and then he's over here complaining about, I mean, he should get to say that. Like, every batter that came up got to walk for free, and then you're going to be mad at the catcher for giving up stolen bases? Like, that's not on him. That's stupid.
Yeah. As a former catcher, it's definitely a team effort to throw guys out. If your pitcher if they're halfway there and the ball's not even released, like, there's nothing you could do. I don't care what arm you have. I don't care if you're Benito Santiago throwing from your knees. Like, you're just not going to get these guys.
Nice name drop there. That's great. But yeah, I mean, you're all professional baseball players. If you can't take some criticism from your own player, then, I mean, you need to take a look in the mirror. I mean, I still like Jake Arrieta. He's not the pitcher he was a couple of years ago, but I mean, at some time you got to realize, like, yeah, it's fine to throw somebody under the bus when it's their fault. Like, in no way was that Miguel Montero's fault. Just send him out for assignment. If I'm him, I'm saying, go ahead and give me the Johnny Peralta and give me my release so that I can just be done, because I'm not good anymore anyway.
If the Cubs were 15 games up, 10 games up, over 500, I think he's there still.
Yeah, probably. I mean, what are they just trying to prove a point? Yeah. All these snowflakes that are just upset about everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Arrieta.
Yeah.
Get together.
Yeah, seriously. Arrieta needs to come out and say, bring Montero back. That was my fault. And if he doesn't, then screw him for being a pansy.
All right, we should probably get to some bats here before people just drop off. All right. Catcher here, all jokes aside, don't play Miguel Montero. But Alex Avila, I think he's my favorite option here. I like the Tigers. Good history against Ian Kennedy. In Detroit, I just expect that offense to kind of get going a little bit here. One of the higher run totals. And you look at Kennedy, I mean, he's always kind of struggled with lefties, and especially in the home run department. Yeah,
and I mean, Avila just still not an everyday guy, never really will be. But, I mean, his hard contact rate is enormous. I mean, he's $2,800 on FanDuel. So you got to imagine he's going to be the highest owned catcher, I would think, especially in cash games, people paying up for Darvish or Strasburg. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, especially at that price. I mean, I think the highest he got was like 32, 33 on there, but I think he's easily my favorite option.
Yeah, just, DraftKings is a little bit higher. He's, your fourth most expensive catcher, 3,900, but even 3,900 is not that bad in this slate because, you have Strasburg, you have Darvish. I won't be playing them together, so I'll have some cash left over.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a couple of these top guys are decent spots. Brian McCann, kind of a little pricey, I guess, compared to a guy like Avila, but Jesse Hahn, I know they just killed him last time out. He's actually been decent this year. You know, they got 2 homers and 2 innings there, but his home runs per 9.4. But still, I mean, I'm more a believer, of course, in this Houston lineup than I am in Jesse Hahn being able to keep the ball in the park. So they got a huge Vegas total, and I'm fine with Houston bats across the board.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like McCann. If Chris Herman's in the lineup for Arizona, I like him. I feel like they carry a 40-man roster already, and they just like rotate in whoever they want. But if Chris Herman's in the lineup, I'll take him against Wainwright. I mean, we know his stuff on the road, but against lefties, I mean, he's been awful. Hard contacts, 341 WOBA, good ballpark there. I like Arizona, but for some reason, a small part of me thinks Wainwright could just troll us all like he did with that Coors start.
Yeah, I know. He's one of those guys. I mean, he's not that good anymore, but he does have deceptive stuff when he's got it working. So, I mean, I think I'll still take the L on that one and just go with some bats against him. But, I mean, another guy that he probably won't be in the lineup. He could be, I guess. Not an everyday guy, but Robinson Chirinos still just keeps hitting bombs. He's got homers in his last 3 starts, but they still don't want to start him all the time. They still think that Jonathan Lucroy is good at baseball, which he's not anymore. At least he's not a good hitter anymore. So it drives me nuts that Chirinos isn't in the lineup 4 nights a week at least.
Yeah, he's had more. I've played Chirinos more than I have Lucroy.
Absolutely. I mean, Lucroy he's garbage now. I don't understand it, but whatever. I mean, if he's in the lineup, I'll play him. I probably won't play Lucroy if he's in, but I definitely will get some shares of Chirinos if he's in.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you want to talk about a complete opposite ends of the spectrum? Sandy Leon's 3,800 on DK, and like Christian Vasquez is 2,800.
And I mean, Vasquez got it was his first homer last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had so many Boston bats, and of course, he's the guy that homered at first. And I knew it was near the bottom of the order because I wasn't watching the game right that minute, and I was sure. I was like, sweet, I got that Mookie homer. No, I mean, whatever. I mean, if you played Vasquez, then congratulations on getting the 1 homer he'll hit this year.
Anyone else a catcher?
Not really. I mean, I'm still a believer that Wilson Ramos is going to be a good hitter for the rest of the year. I kind of want to wait till, we see it happen. And it's not bad ballpark. Nova's been pretty good, so I probably won't play him if he is in tonight. But definitely a guy that I'm going to be watching here because I still believer that he's a above average hitter.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Get him against a lefty too in a better ballpark. Yeah, I'll take some Ramos.
Yep.
First base, a loaded spot as usual. Paul Goldschmidt, obviously the most expensive, going up against Wainwright. In play, I mean, he's been red hot, but there's so many good value first basemen here.
I know. First base is going to be tough. I mean, you even got Bellinger there. Like, Alex Meyer's been good, but he's been walking a lot of guys. Bellinger has just been unbelievable. But, I mean, he's also probably – you got to imagine Bellinger probably going to be the highest owned. Again, I mean, on this big slate, you don't really worry about that. You figure high owned is going to be, 15% maybe?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you really can't go wrong with really any of these top guys. Votto continues to mash too. Not a bad matchup for him there. Chase Anderson, he's been really good recently. I can't deny it by this point because he's done it consistently for at least like a month. But I'm still not a believer that he's just this good all of a sudden. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he actually is this good all of a sudden. But I don't mind picking on him with a guy like Votto. I'm not going to go stack the Reds in this spot necessarily, but I don't mind because I think he'll be pretty low owned.
Yeah, I like Votto. I mean, he's a guy who just always kind of goes. I think he was like 9% owned last night. All the Reds were basically 10% or lower, and I think that's kind of how it's going to be again. I like Votto. I mean, I think in that range, Jose Abreu is a sneaky option just because Tanaka has just been so inconsistent. And against righties this year, I mean, as a whole, obviously there's some positive regression coming, but 380 WOBA, 2.15 home runs per 9. I mean, I'm not going to write out Abreu in this spot, especially in this ballpark.
No, I like that. And another guy that I like that I think will be super low owned. Somehow Marcus Stroman's really struggled against righties over this year. I mean, 273 WOBA to lefties. To righties, he's given up a 361, 11 homers. Trey Mancini just continues to hit, mash the ball. And it's not just power either. He's batting almost 320. So I think he's a guy that price kind of up a little bit. He's going to be 2-3% owned max. Yeah. And he's got pretty big power in that ballpark. So I like him as kind of a sneaky option too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Once again, DraftKings just continues to price down Miguel Cabrera even further. 3,500 on DK. I mean, he's priced around I don't know, Adam Lind, Jesus Aguilar, like Adrian Gonzalez, who's not even in the lineup. Come on.
I know that's crazy. And I mean, obviously he's not the hitter he ever was or he used to be, but I mean, 60% of that hitter is still one of the better hitters in baseball. So, his price on FanDuel is not great. 3,700 is all right, I guess. But I mean, against that pitcher in that ballpark, I mean, I think Detroit's going to be one of the first teams I stack tonight for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. One guy I'll toss out here, Sam Travis. I mean, this guy hammered lefties in the minor leagues. He's really cheap. He's hitting 346 in limited spots. With Hanley, he shouldn't get pinch hit for, so expect 3 to 4 at bats. And he is a guy I'll pick on, but I probably won't pick on the Sox as a whole or a stack. They're probably just one-offs and two-offs, just kind of how they were last night.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But like first base, easily
It's
the most
tough.
loaded option tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the place I'm going to diversify the most for sure.
Yeah. More on second base. I really like Daniel Murphy tonight. I mean, he's the most expensive. He's just always kind of an easy click and plug. But for some reason, I just think he has that huge 3-hit game, double 4 or 5 RBIs. Like, I just see them pounding on Lackey.
Yeah, I mean, Lackey's been horrible this year. He's got, a home run per 9 over 2.16. And then against lefties, he's been pretty terrible as well. So I'm all aboard with these Nationals guys. Harper hasn't been particularly good recently, so I think if I'm playing one guy, it's Murphy. Plus, you got to imagine that Altuve is going to be the guy that's going to be popular at second base up top, especially that huge total there. So, not those guys. Then Ian Kinsler probably one. He might be my favorite second base option tonight against Kennedy. Got a good history against him. I mean. And his season-long numbers aren't great, but over the last 2 weeks, he's got 4 steals, 4 homers, ISO over 300. So I think that he's going to be a guy in a really good spot here.
Yeah, I like the Tigers. I feel like a guy that is going to get glossed over is Brian Dozier. I like Minnesota bats tonight just because Porcello's he's been bad. And the hard contact rate is just through the roof. 40% against righties. It's over 45% against lefties this year. So, I mean, Dozier's on the expensive side, and I think because of the names like Daniel Murphy and Jose Altuve right there, he'll just be so low owned.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on board with that one as well. I mean, as strange as it seems, I mean, for the most part, I think I'll be paying up at second base today. Normally a spot I want to try to get some value, but there's not a whole lot that I love down cheaper.
Yeah, and with first base having some valued bats there, like I have no issue just paying up at like middle infield spots.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
So, yeah, I think second base is one of those areas I don't like. If Daniel Descalso's in the lineup, I'll consider him for Arizona. He's been pretty solid this year. We talked about lefties against Wainwright. He'll probably be as cheap as I go unless something comes up. I mean, I don't know. Dustin Pedroia is intriguing against a bad lefty at 3,200 on DK, but the power just not really there.
And 28 on FanDuel too. I know. I had him last night. He was all right last night. I mean, I want him to be good again. I just don't know that power is ever coming back. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope it does. But, I mean, he's also coming off an injury. So, we'll see.
The problem is he has no extra base hits in the last 10 games.
True.
The thing with him is just like he's got to get 3 hits to get over like 10 DK points, and that's the issue. But tonight I wouldn't put it past him to get a homer.
Yeah, I mean, I think around that same price, Jose Perella is the only other guy I'm looking at. I mean, Colon just come back from injury. We know he's always – I mean, I won't say he's always been – he's been a very hittable pitcher always. I mean, he's not really fooling anybody. He throws out those great games randomly. And, I mean, it's best matchups. Usually the plug-and-play guy against the Padres, but I don't think tonight's that night. I'm not stacking against him necessarily, but if you need a cheap guy, I'm fine with him.
Yeah, and Perella, he can run as well. Cologne's somehow better than Arrieta at holding runners on.
I mean, who isn't after last night? Jesus.
I think that's it at second base for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Third base, Jake Lamb, I mean, in a good spot here, but I think Miguel Sano's the guy I'm pivoting to.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we always talk about Porcello as hard contact. I mean, he just somehow is a magician at getting through these games without giving up 7-8 runs. But I mean, that game's got to be coming. He's getting hit hard by everybody. So I'm good with that. I like Travis Shaw a lot. He's a guy that just his price never seems to go up, at least on FanDuel. Still just 3,600. I mean, facing a guy, Luis Castillo didn't really have issues with homers in the minors, but also never even pitched at AAA level and gave up 2 homers in his first game. I mean, I think Milwaukee just continues to match this crappy Reds pitching tonight. So I think Shaw's in a good spot as well.
Yeah, I love Travis Shaw. He continues to go on their own every night. And as you said, the power's there. I mean, 16 homers this year, 9 of them coming on the road. Cincinnati, good spot. Yeah, he'll just get overlooked with all these other names. And, I think there's a lot of kind of cheaper options too. Like, I always love Wilmer Flores against a lefty. Jeff Locke's just an average lefty, and he'll get overlooked because the price coming up a little bit. And obviously Miami's not a good hitter's park, but I always love Flores for value.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another guy who's got some upside, Ryan Healy, hit a grand slam last night, so maybe he'll see a little bit more ownership. But David Paulino's had some issues with hard contact so far.
Yeah, he has. I think outside of that, though, I'm pretty much done. Josh Donaldson, he let me down last night. He's been struggling a little bit of late, but against Miley, I wouldn't put it past him either.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be the plug and play against a lefty. So, I mean, I'll definitely have some shares. And only one other guy, I think he's only third base on FanDuel, I believe. Matt Davidson just keeps having a ton of power. I mean, he's striking out almost 50% of the time against righties, but Tanaka's also given up 21 homers already this year. So, I mean, you mentioned Abreu. I think the White Sox are a sneaky stack against a guy who just is prone to just giving up those monster games.
Yeah, Davidson's so 17 homers this year. He's really boomer bust. Yeah, I mean, I like him. As we said, Tanaka's home run rate's extremely high.
Yep.
Shortstop, this one's a spot where, I mean, Carlos Correa's in a good spot. Xander Bogaerts, he's nicely priced on FanDuel. DraftKings, 4,800 still a guy. This Red Sox team just has no power.
I know. It's so sad.
I'm struggling, man.
Even last night, I was trying to stack them, and I only went with Mookie, Benintendi, and Pedroia. And not even Pedroia because of the power, just kind of hoping that, maybe Vasquez hits a double and he can drive him in. But I guess that ball went over the wall, so there goes that idea. But I know, man, it's every time I want to get a piece of him, I just never excited about it.
No, it's just so hard. Like, Bogaerts is still in play for me because it's a bad lefty, but like you just look and Trey Turner's right there, Correa is still right there. I don't even mind guys in like the Diamondbacks with like Chris Owings either. So I don't know. There's just more power options, I guess.
Yeah, the guy that I just never play is Elvis Andrus, and I was even looking at him the other night, the day that of course he had 2 home runs, and I was like, no, he just doesn't have that upside. I'm looking to put him in a GPP lineup. Sure enough, he goes and hits 2 homers, which he probably won't ever do again as long as I live. But, I mean, it's still Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer, we talk about him all the time. He's not our favorite pitcher. His command's horrible, gives up plenty of hard contact. And, I mean, while Andrews doesn't really have that 2-homer upside, I mean, he's still batting about –
He just hit 2 homers.
Yeah, in one game. I mean, he's got 9 for the season. I mean,
yeah, I know.
he hadn't homered the entire month before that.
Yeah, no, I know.
But anyway, since he only had that homer upside in one game, I mean, he does have a couple multi-steal games. He's got, 18 steals on the year. So I think he's a guy that, due to his price, is kind of under-owned. And the fact that some people think Trevor Bauer is good. But if he hits 2 homers again tonight, then, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll change my I'll tweet him an apology to his Twitter account.
You should just become Big Elvis 42.
I'll do that. Yeah, if he hits 2 homers tonight, I'll do that. But because he can't, it's more likely that I'll hit 2 homers tonight.
Yeah. Troy Tulowitzki, this is a guy who's actually been playing a little bit better of late. He's been much better at home this year. 289 average compared to 195 at home. Couple homers over the last few games. Once in Kansas City. I don't hate his price tag, and he's actually had a really good history off Miley too. So I'm not against it. 3,200 on DK. That price tag makes sense if you are paying down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate his price tag. I just hate him.
Yeah, he's not the same, but
no, I just hate seeing that name. Like, I wish he would change his name so I could be like, all right, well, this guy's not bad. But I mean, when I just think of the good old days with him and Cargo, and you play them every night, even on the road, it's just, I don't know what the hell happened to him. I mean, he's got no upside anymore. But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, that price is so tempting. Every night I'm looking for a cheap shortstop, and every night when he's playing an average or below average pitcher, I want to play him. And I don't know. It's tempting. I don't know if I can do it tonight, but I kind of want to.
Yeah, I don't mind Eduardo Escobar. I mean, like I said, the Twins will go overlooked, but if he's in the lineup hitting up top again, I'll play him.
Yeah, for sure.
Outfield, I think we just go back to the well here with Mookie Betts. I think if people are going to drop off because, he hasn't showed a ton of upside of late, bad lefty again in that ballpark, I mean, I'll go back and use Mookie as a top option.
Yeah, and I mean, he's still priced under 4K on FanDuel. I mean, bumped up a little bit, but I mean, he gives you that great floor because he doesn't strike out, always gives you great at-bats. So, I mean, Ryan Braun is still more expensive than him. He's been back for one day. I mean, I don't really get it. I know Mookie, like you said, hasn't really had a ton of upside recently, but I mean, it's not like it isn't there. He's just that hitter who kind of realizes that he's doing what Joey Votto does sometimes when his team just needs a hit and he's just getting on base. But eventually Mookie's going to realize, you know what? I need to just start hitting bombs because singles aren't going to do you any good if nobody's going to bring you home.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, he needs to get going again. It's not like he's having a bad year. I mean, 270, 12 homers isn't bad, but
no, not by any means. But I'm expecting 318 homers by now.
Yeah,
get to work, Mookie. I mean, you think he sucks anyway, so
I don't think he sucks. Jesus. Oh man. All right. Andrew McCutchen against a lefty. Blake Snell, who's down the minors trying to figure things out. McCutchen's just been on fire, hitting over 350 over the last 2 weeks, showing the power. Against lefties, he's been absolute money this year, and he's actually been better at home.
Yeah, I mean, he's been one of the hottest hitters of the last month. I mean, I keep every week wanting to write him up, but I can't just be the guy that always writes Andrew McCutchen up. But, I mean, he's always been a great hitter. I don't know what it was early this season. But the team's finally starting to hit a little bit too. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of his pretty much every night. I mean, they really haven't played a lot of top-tier pitchers recently. So, I mean, a lot of nights he's kind of just a plug-and-play for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, in that price range too, I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of options. Stanton, I mean, 4,200 on DK against a lefty. I know Stanton's been struggling as well, but, I mean, Stanton against a lefty, I mean, that's just back to normal this year.
Yeah, and I mean, Matt's still an above-average pitcher, but hasn't been particularly good recently. So, yeah, I'm Stanton's still one of those guys that I really don't care what lefty it is. I'm going to have him in some lineups.
Yeah. Well, I like Matt's a lot. It's just, he goes and he throws decent outings, but, like, he's still getting the home runs. He still has those one innings where he's just blowing up because I don't love the Marlins, but I'll take one or two one-offs.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So, anyone else you like?
I mean, cheap guys. Keon Broxton's had some power. He's got 5 homers in the last 14 days. I mean, facing a young pitcher for the Reds. I mean, we know the bullpen sucks too. So I think Milwaukee in a good spot again. He's kind of a guy that goes under-owned. I mean, as you're looking for cheap guys, there's not a whole lot. I mean, if Jacob Marisnick's in, he's crazy cheap, and he's just had stupid power this year. I mean, I know he's probably going to bat ninth, but I mean, if you want a guy that's like sub 5% owned with a huge total, I think that's a pretty good spot for him.
Yeah, I'm with you. DraftKings priced Mark Trumbo at 3,200 tonight. He's had 3 double-digit DK games in the last 4. Against Marcus Stroman, as you said earlier, I mean, he's been struggling with righties this year.
Yeah, which is so weird, but I mean, it's been a significant issue. So I don't know, maybe Baltimore is because Stroman's going to be, we mentioned earlier, kind of, if you're not paying up for those guys atop Strasburg, Darvish, I mean, going to be a guy that sees a little bit of ownership on this slate. So I don't know, I think it's not that bad of a spot for Baltimore righties because we know, I mean, they're the ultimate boom or bust team. They're either going to go get shut out like we just saw a couple days ago, or shut down, I guess I'll say, or they have the potential to go off. I mean, I don't trust most of these guys in general, but I mean, 11 homers, 360 WOBA was pretty telling for him. Yeah,
no, I'm definitely with you. I think if I had another name, Lorenzo Cain, I have some interest in. He's hit number 330 over the last 2 weeks. This guy historically has been really good against lefties. I don't love Kansas City, but I think against Norris, I'll definitely consider him just because he's still getting 41% of contact to righties. So if we get like him or like Whit Merrifield, I mean, Kansas City might be a sneaky stack.
I know. I was so excited when Cain started hitting again, and I mean, I still think he's a good hitter. I don't know what it was early this season, but he's a guy that I'm still a big fan of. So Norris, man, it's all that high contact. Like I'm not going to play him tonight. I'm with you. I don't know if I'll stack Kansas City, but I'll definitely get some pieces there.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Salvador Perez, but he'll be a good one. He'll probably be popular.
Yeah, I mean, because catcher's pretty weak tonight.
Yeah. So, anything else? Anything you want to touch on?
I don't think so.
No, you don't want to talk about Chris Paul. we got through a good podcast without you breaking into a Spurs rant.
I don't know what words I'm allowed to say, so you better go ahead and just cut this off.
All right, yeah.
Enjoy losing again, Chris Paul. Enjoy being a loser forever.
All right. Well, it'll be fine. He'll break his thumb, and Harden will be back to being point guard again anyway.
You better hope he breaks his thumb because it's going to be embarrassing when that team still loses in the second round this year.
That's true. All right. Let's get it.
Maybe he'll get in the Hall of Fame.
Let's go wrap things up with us. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com, check out our great tools and content.